Hi everyone, I'm going to show you today how to make different feet for your pots. I've just got made a few of these little slabs in advance so I'd have something to attach them to. So in the first instance, let's look at what you can do with a coil. I just wanted to show you something. So if you cut, let's say you've made a beautiful coil and then you want to make 3 feet and you cut them with your knife. You can see how they end up being that shape. They're not round anymore. But if you use something, this I'm just using to raise the harp. If you cut with a harp, you're going to get a much rounder and more precise circle. Do you see that? Okay, anyway, moving on. If you take a section of your sausage or your coil and you make them the same length so that your feet are the same size, and then you can cut out a V out of the center of that, and depending on how deep and whatever you make it, and then you can close it, and then you've got a little foot. So I'm just going to make 2 of these. Should probably have 3 because 2 isn't balanced. Okay, let's do 3. Okay, you can measure these up better. This is just a demo, so it's not that important. Right, there we go. Okay, they look like that, and then you obviously slip and score them. Don't just do this. Turn your thing upside down. Yeah, and you've got 3 beautiful little feet. All right, next one that you can try is where you take...
Can I ask, when you slip and score, do you have to blend in as well?
Yes, always blend in. All right, the other foot you can make is also using a sausage, and you can cut your sausage up and you take, shall I elevate it slightly? So you take 3 pieces of coil and you squish them together. Okay, so you get a foot that looks like that. Again, I'm going to do 3 because a tripod is the most stable. And you can make these as thin and as thick as you like, depending on the size of your pot. And there's a 3rd one. Right, there we go. And we'll pop that on our banding wheel. Okay, another foot that I really like a lot, also made from a coil, is a spiral. Okay, so when I make my coil, I just squeeze out the clay and then roll it to the thickness that I want. So in this case, I'm going to leave it reasonably thick because it's going to go from thick to thin. So I'm going to do 3. It's better to do all 3 now rather than one at a time, so that you get them the same thickness and the same length. And then you just roll the end, so you've got a cone shape. And you want to try and get them the same length. Okay, and then you roll it up. And you sort of compress it as you roll it, otherwise it can stretch there. Okay,
do you want to explain that a little bit more?
Well, if I were to just do that, you can see the particles are under stress and they've cracked a bit. Whereas if I compress it as I join it, I don't get that. Okay, so getting another of my little things together and going again for the tripod. right? Looks like that. 3 very handsome feet. Very quick and easy, and elevates your pot. Okay, these feet are all a bit big for the, in relation to the squares that I made, but that's fine because it's just to show you how they look. Another thing that you might not know about is that we have these little plaster feet, and for these you just roll your ball of clay and then pop it in. Make sure you get it nicely in. You take the harp again, cut along the top, and then you take a metal kidney and you just pop it out. Okay, so let's take that one for our next pot. And these you can keep this size, obviously, but especially for a vessel that size, it's very big. And you can either cut them in half, or in this case, I'm just going to cut the ends off, and then you have a foot that's that shape. I'm sure I don't need to make 3 of them. If you're making this one with the one that looks like a jelly, there's Winston. You make like a point so that you make sure you get it in there, and then you press the clay in. And then cut it off. Oops. And pull it out. Okay, he needs to be attended to.
Okay, let him in.
Sorry, and now puppy also. Okay, back. Okay, so that's the little plaster mold, and I had another one. If you take a little coil and you roll it along a butter patter, what are they called? A
Paddle.
paddle, a butter, whatever. Anyway, along one of these that's used for butter. Then you'll get a pattern going. Obviously you can use any paddle that's got a pattern, and then just take something that you can.
One of our new paddles in the shop.
One of our new paddles in the shop.
Textured paddles.
You can make a foot that's like that. And what I like about a foot that looks like that is you can see through it. And I think that's quite an exciting one. And then the last one I'm going to show you is just to make something that looks a bit like a throne foot, where you make a coil. And you put it on top of your pot. I'll show you from this angle, and then just cut at an angle so that you get a long join. Long joins are much stronger.
And you would of course score that.
Yeah, you've scored it beautifully, and then you compress it like that, and then you've got a little foot. That's it.